Howl has just released slots, live games, and most importantly, crypto withdrawals. You can now deposit Ruskins and gamble on any slot you want and withdraw your winnings to crypto. They've also added a chat rain where you can claim free money every 30 minutes without having to bet any of your own money. They have a free Rust case you can open daily to win up to $2,000, and for a limited time, you can receive a 48% bonus when depositing with gift cards and crypto. Make sure to use my code 9 for a free 50 cents to gamble with. Check it out using the link in the description. Hello guys, my name is 9 and welcome back to another video. Before we get any further into today's video, please consider dropping a like and subscribing, as it greatly helps absolutely everything that I'm doing here. And now on screen, you'll see the cost and the upkeep of the base. Please remember that this is a bunker base, and I've spammed as many garage doors around the base as humanly possible. You'll get about 1 day on main TC, and that's about all the information you need for now. So let's get into the tour. Alrighty guys, before we actually go on and build the base, we're going to be going on a little tour. So starting at one of our two externals, each one's going to cost 1.5k metal frags and 2k stone. Jumping out of here and coming over here, we can disconnect our external TC, like so, by placing a roof tile. Now obviously this is broken, and to replace it, just build it out of the desired grade, like such. Alrighty, now going into our compound gatehouse, you'll see that we have a very basic peek into compound, nothing special. Above this guy we have an auto turret covering our furnaces, and as you can see we can get 3, and you can even squish up to 4 in here if you do it really tightly together. Okay, going over to the right side here, we'll be met with our little bit of a compound peek and bedroom. 2 beds, a locker, and a little bit of space for small boxes if you want to fit them, and some beautiful peeks out to the outside of compound. These are really nice when people are on the side of walls, and I've even put a little low wall peak at the top of here. It's very basic, but it can catch some people on these weird little angles. And all housing another auto turret above, like so. Alright, jumping into base through the single door, we're going to be going through our simple door path that will lead to our bunker. So as you can see here, if you remember my channel from previous videos, this is actually a bunker module. These 2 half walls will actually make a bunker. So jumping up these guys, you'll see that this is open right here, and if we were to place this, like so, and upgrade it to the desired grade, like so, we can then place a roof tile, and it will open up. Breaking it, you can obviously replace it at any point. Jumping down here, this is one of our 2 bunker modules. This one just houses some extra storage, some furnaces, and some bags for the team if they want to spawn in here for whatever reason. You can do anything else with this as you want. Jumping up here, this path will lead up to our core peaks and all that kind of stuff, but this path will lead into our semi-open core. Vending machine here just for extra storage, some deployables, boxes, drop boxes, and then our little bit of an open core with our ramp peaks. No turrets through these as the angles aren't good, but we do have some turrets in the ground here. Each loot room has 8 boxes, just a nice little roam room crafting area, if you would. Jumping down here, more the same, good spot for our tier 3. And then going down to the other bunker module, we'll be met with our TC. Just like this. And we can now look at that upkeep. So pretty reasonable. You're gonna get a little less than a day on main TC if you put it all in here properly. And it's just a very basic 2x1 starter, meant to be really easy and expandable for any kind of group. Oop. Apologies about the lag, guys. Jumping up to the next level, we'll be met with our shooting floor retakes. These guys, you jump up here and you have these nice little retakes onto here. There's 4 of these, so you have a full 360. Also, it's a retake up into the next point, which we'll go to now. And almost forgot to mention, we have these little bedroom core peaks. You pull off this window and start shooting. Going up to the next level, you'll see the top of these guys. A little bit of a ramp peak here. Now, as you can see, the turret isn't here like in previous builds. That's just because the angle isn't proper, so we're just doing it this way. Still, you can peek these and get some nice kills. Up and over to here, we have our little battery room. So battery closed off by a garage door and a single bedroom. Very effective use of space here. And we've partitioned 1 battery on each side. Apologies for this one disappearing, just noticed that. Going out one of these 2 doors to shooting floor, we're met with a full 360 shooting floor design with some nice peaks. We have an auto turret on each side covering the entire thing, and these little peaks are just all nice all around. So full 360, no blind spots, you get the point. Nice, simple, and beautiful. And also these peaks I'm really liking. They're good for peeking people far away from your base and giving yourself just some nice versatile angles. Like so. Coming back in through here, we'll come back and go to our roof. Our roof is very basic. I have 2 windmills on here, a few auto turrets, just very basic and simple to do for anyone. You can obviously fit more windmills if you kind of spread them out a little more. However, the way I've done it is very basic. You can also add vending machine bunkers and stuff like that. However, I'll be showing that in the actual build as to not clutter the roof for the tour. All right, if you guys have any other questions, comments, or concerns, please leave a comment in the description below. I'm more than happy to answer any building related questions. Just leave a comment and I'll get back to you as soon as I see it. Alrighty guys, without further ado, let's get into the actual build of the base. Alright guys, before we actually build the base, I know some people like to see the footprint, so we're going to go over that now. So starting right here, this is our TC compartment, this 2x1 section. The centerpiece is honeycomb, splitting off the 2 bunkers from each other, making them a very expensive raid. This is the other bunker, like so. Obviously just honeycombing on these corners of the bunkers and everything. The actual bunker modules themselves. The corner peaks of the compound. The other compound gatehouses, and our external disconnectable TCs. And almost forgot to mention the wide gap shooting floor, all being a 3 TC design. Alrighty guys, so wiping the island now, I do want to tell you guys ahead of time, I do use a little bit of symmetry and build grade to speed up the build process and make it a little easier. So starting off with your basic 2x1 starter, I'll just be making the interior pretty simply here, and we'll go from there. Now I will just simply come outside here. And now entering back into our 2x1 starter, you'll see that I've completed it in my own way. I expect everyone to kind of know how to do this, so I didn't bother going over the specifics. So coming outside of here and starting with our actual bunker expansion. Simply place this triangle foundation like so, upgrade to stone, this wall like such, this wall frame like such, and this triangle floor frame, and this socket. Now switching over to twig, do not upgrade anything until I do on screen. So let's place a triangle, a square, and another triangle foundation. Breaking the first square and triangle, and being left with this guy right here. Now what we're gonna want to do is build out 9 right-facing triangles. So this guy counts as number 1. This guy's number 2. As you see, 9 right-facing, so these left ones don't count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and finally 9. Now breaking every single triangle, coming back, and leaving just that last one that we placed. Placing a square off this guy, breaking the triangle, and simply coming back all the way to base, and breaking these guys behind you as they're not needed. Now placing this last guy here, and a raised triangle foundation like such. Now to ensure our bunker module actually works, I'm going to jump up on a roof here. So excuse me flying around a little bit. Grabbing a half wall like such, half wall, half wall. Half walls are very important, make sure you use half walls. Now standing right here is the easiest I've found to do this technique. Grab a triangle and wait until it snaps like that. So it's snapped towards that raised foundation. Once it snaps towards that raised foundation, place it, and then slowly move your mouse back until this other one snaps into place. Just gonna take a second, boom. Now check the stability of this guy. So you see this is 28% stable, which means I've done it perfectly and that it will work. If it's not 28% stable, you've done something wrong and you need to repeat this last little process that I showed here. Okay, breaking this guy and upgrading these guys as much as possible. If you can sheet metal this foundation, it's very highly suggested. And then stoning this guy up, and like so. If you want to furthermore test it a little more to make sure it's all good, place your triangle in here. If this places, and you can place your roof tile like such, and that opens like such, you've done it perfectly right. Alrighty, building this guy in like such, too high, jumping down here, getting your little door here, your half walls, and just overall just sealing this guy fully up. I personally like to put a lowered wood foundation like such, just to give us an easy entry into base. Okay. And you can even place a furnace here or any kind of deployable to make this jump up easier. Half wall or a floor in like such, a double door frame, and you can cap this off like such for now. And if you want to make this better, I suggest actually building this up one more level like such, and then putting your door on, as we're going to expand this section right here, which we're standing in. So coming off of here, let's honeycomb this guy. So through the wall here, placing these two triangles and honeycombing them one high. Now sealing this guy off like such. I like to jump down here and place your floor frame from inside, makes it much easier, and a furnace for a jump up. Now you can put a double door on top of here and seal this guy off. Now you can do, excuse me, did not mean to do that. Now you can use your optional vending machine here, if you'd like to do that. Just wall it in like such until you get your vending machine to make it easy. And when you place it, make sure to turn off broadcasting. No need to have that on. Awesome. Double door frame here, and cap this entire guy off. Try to make sure the stability of this triangle is 45% and not connected to the other guy at a lower percent. And I personally then like to door this guy off. Going down here, you can use garage door if you have it, but double doors will work here for now. I will, however, garage door it as it will be its final form. Jumping up to here, we are all good. Coming to the outside now, we're going to honeycomb these back triangle, or this back square like such, on both sides, and put square honeycomb through this middle guy. Now this honeycomb is going to be a little weird. I want to put a simple wall here, and then wall these guys up, one floor, like such, and then wall these guys in here. And the reason I like to put this guy in here is as it's a divider in between the two bunkers, because the other bunker will go right here, and this guy will be like this. There's no real way to splash it effectively, at least not in good sense. Coming like so, no need to upgrade that yet, but if you can, upgrade this portion to high qual or sheet metal, whatever you got at the time, upgrade this guy up, whatever you got, and we'll just leave it like this for now. Nice and easy. Okay, jumping down here, we are now going to be building our second bunker module. And now since this entrance is on this side to the bunker, I want my entrance to be on this side over here, so this triangle. So, same kind of build I was doing before, walling this guy in, putting a frame in here. I actually prefer adding our half wall and our floor here like such first, and building this guy in like such. I use double doors here as single doors are less efficient. You can just garage door much easier than you can other devices. Floor frame here, and doing our same 9 triangle build out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Breaking all these guys, and coming back with squares. And here we are. Ensuring that this guy works. Placing this again like so. 28% stable. Testing that the bunker works. We're good. And upgrading him up. Building the exact same kind of thing on this side as we did on the other side of the base. Just continuing and going on through. Yep. Now I want to honeycomb these guys like such. Oh, and I suggest when building these bunkers, make sure not to have the bunker actually sealed, as it could cause problems later. So when you're building around the bunkers, leave this guy open. Just a little bit of a trick for those that may have had issues with them in the past. That usually is the cause of all of your issues. It's hard to know that, by the way, so I apologize for not mentioning it more earlier. Sealing this guy off like so. You can add boxes and whatever deployables you want here. I'll show upgrades for these guys later, but for now we'll give it the same kind of treatment as we did to this guy to make it look like which one's the right one, which is always a good little mind trick to those other players. Makes them kind of pick up a 50-50 of which one's the actual real bunker. Little concept I like to do. And I didn't place my vending machine in here. Okay. So at this point we have 2 full-on bunker modules. If you can get this kind of thing down day 1, obviously it's a very elongated base, it's very long. But this in turn is 2 partitioned bunkers. You can force easily 30 rockets for both of them at this point. It's very expensive. You gotta use something like this, it's kind of beautiful. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna be toggling on symmetry, and we're gonna be building up the open core and all this kind of stuff. So adding this triangle foundation on both sides, the symmetry is bugged, so we will not be using symmetry for this build. That is unfortunate. Okay, so instead of using symmetry for this build, apologies guys, we'll just be building it all freehand. Have not done this in a while. So coming up to here, we're gonna be placing a triangle on each side and building it up. Walling this guy in and making our open core loot room. Like such on both sides. Building it up another level, just like we did on the other side. Okay. Jumping down to here, placing a reverse ramp like such, both of them. And you can place a floor at a twig, a triangle through the floor, and then placing another guy like this and upgrading it. You can then break this twig as it's not needed. Same kind of guy on this. And you're good. Not actually building the open core. I like to square, or not square, but frames like this. Build too high. Window here. Same thing on this guy. And then some ramps to section and give us those little drop box areas. Too high on this guy and capping this guy off. Same as this guy. If you want this to not have a window, or if you don't have windows early as a BP, consider putting floor frames like this through like this so people can't jump through. But if you have it, window these guys off as it's much more of an effective option. Coming into here, whenever you have the resources, rotate this wall and sheet metal this entire guy like such. And I'll do the same over here. Okay, garage doors on both these guys. And just place the boxes real quick. 2 large boxes like so. Place these guys as far back into their respective side as possible. This guy can go in the middle, should fit just like that. Same concept for these guys, as far back into the right and as far back into the left as possible. Placing a triangle like this will make it easier to place this guy. And now since I showed that once, I won't show it again there to save a little time. Coming through here and adding doors. You can remove this double door as it's kind of just a nuisance at this point. We'll keep expanding up to the next floor. So in this guy, what we're going to be doing is on top of this honeycomb, we're going to be building this up another level on this guy. Half walls on these guys. Windows. Wall like such. And door frames like so. Now making sure to build off of these guys. So making sure to check these stabilities that they're higher, that they're not like lower than 27%. Like these guys are fine. And then I like to add frames like such just to add a little more stability to these. So they're good. And you can add triangle floor frames and these guys like such. Cap this guy off. Remove this double door and keep building and moving that double door up another level to be our next roof exit. It's a great use for a double door, is kind of just reusing it over and over. Same thing on this guy. Building him too high. Like so. Oop, a little bit of lag there, I apologize. Frames like such. And we are looking good. Now as you can see, we built the base up a good bit. If you have the sheet metal, what I do suggest doing is sheet metaling these guys as these are the most effective, or efficient rather, pieces of honeycomb to upgrade. This is how you can get the most bang out of your buck for this base. And then building out stone, just build these guys 2 up. Now for the shooting force, since symmetry isn't working, I'm just gonna do a little editing, and I'm only gonna show one external, and then I'll edit in the other one being done. So coming out and over here, we're gonna be building a triangle, actually a twig rather. 3 triangles, 3 squares, coming back like such. And this will be our build out. So we're moving these guys, and then placing 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be our wide gap peaks, like so. That will be the footprint for this guy. Okay. This will be our external. So what I like to do now is, if you have the resources, I like to wood these guys, sheet metal these 2, these 3, and these can just become stone. They don't really matter too much. Over to here, if you can, sheet metal these, and make our external. Wood this guy just to always have that as an option. Sheet metal, stone, 2 half walls, sheet metal, and then stoning the rest of this guy off. 2 garage doors is usually good enough for me. And placing our TC like so. Okay. Placing this sheet metal frame like such. Floor frames, removing this twig. I personally like to make these sheet metal. Has to be an 8 rocket disconnect. Windows. Capping this guy off. Very basic gatehouse. We've all seen it before. Turret goes up into this section, which I'll place now. And placing doors, embrasures, the whole 9 yards. Now right now these twig foundations like this will actually be decaying if you do not add the frames on top. So I'm actually gonna just go ahead and kind of do that now for you guys. So the frames on these guys are very, very simple, I'd say. Very basic. So I want frames like this across the entire bottom, upgrading these guys to sheet metal, like so. It's a weird shooting floor, but I really do enjoy it. So just like that, these guys are looking very good. So now building this guy up 3 stories, capping him off, and grabbing stone, we can place 3 half walls, 3 windows, and place our shelf through like this. Embrasures on these 2 guys, or 3 rather, and our roof triangles. Jump place these guys makes it the easiest for me. And cap this guy off. If you actually want to complete this whole thing, you can also add roof triangles like so, which will house another auto turret above. Okay, now over to this side right here. Apologies for that. I like to add, if you didn't have one on the other side, like so, and build this guy straight up. Now this doesn't have to be sheet metal, however, I will do it sheet metal 3 high, like so. And I forgot to mention honeycomb, add this guy 2 higher. Almost forgot. And I also forgot to move this double door to another level, so apologies about that, guys. Please forgive me. I'll make a mistake from time to time. You can cap that off and add your double doors like this for now. It'll be good. Building these guys up higher. I like to use half walls like this so to make these peaks. Like so. Now this peak will go like this, but first I gotta build this guy up. And this can be stone, this guy, actually. Doesn't actually matter. Doesn't need to be sheet metal. I like to place them with a half wall there, and then this guy like such. This should be sheet metal though. And then a ramp like such. Now if the ramp doesn't place, it's a little bit of a stability bug. It happens every once in a while, so I do apologize. Simply place stability through here like such. it happens every once in a while, so it's kind of random. Sometimes the stability just doesn't think it's high enough for whatever reason, and I can't do anything about it, I'm gonna be honest. So I don't know why it happens. It's just a mystery of Rust, I guess. These things happen. Best to just kind of work with them. And it's good to know workarounds for them. Okay. Now we're going to continue building this guy out like such. I prefer to add frames like such, so we can place those ceiling tiles. And we're going to add half walls on top of these guys. Frames on top of these guys like such. This is going to be a battery spot, so we'll cap these guys off. Sheet metal this guy if you can, very important. Coming out to here. This guy's looking good. You want to use half walls like such on both these guys. Ooh, apologies about that guy. And capping that one off, this one off, and then placing a roof tile like such on these two. And a roof triangle, the angle is going to be a little weird, so apologies. Stand right here, keep looking up, you should eventually get the angle. It's a little difficult sometimes with these guys like this. There we go. Low walls right here, finalize these peaks to be nice and good. This is where these double doors go. Okay. Building up the next level on these guys as well. Simply use all windows is what I personally like to do. I like to just have a little bit of vision, why not? I use glass windows to make sure people can't just jump through or anything like that. Adding a frame here, a window here, windowing these guys in like such. This will become a bedroom. You don't have to glass window these, you could 100% make it entirely sealed in if you want. This is the other battery room on the other side. And I'm flying through that wall just to make it easier for myself. I know. Capping this guy off like such. Looking pretty darn good. Door like so. Coming down here, adding our everything else rather. I like to sheet metal these guys like such to be efficient. And now obviously I have not built this other side of the shooting floor. Let me jump over here and do this guy first. And this guy over here that I've missed. And then I'll be right back before finishing the rest of the base and doing all the upgrades that are important. So just a second, guys. Ooh, also forgot to mention the little core peaks. You can also place these like this, is usually what I like to do, and then I like to place this guy like such. The little retakes, I personally would prefer if you put these embrasures on them. So if you come inside like this, these are the best. These will give you, apologies, these will give you the best angles when you're doing like such. And obviously I'm flying through the base here, which is a little obnoxious, I will admit. But making sure to add all those guys in. This is what it looks like before the shooting floor is on. Here's what it looks like after the shooting floor is on. And I'll be right back when the other side of the shooting floor is done, so we can then build the compound and such. Alrighty guys, we are back here, and before we go on and make the compound, I wanted to add these auto turret placements in here. So coming above this guy like so, pull them as far back as possible, place your turret like that, and do that on both sides. Okay. Windmill spots I will also show here before we build the compound. Now if you can, build the compound before I show it here in the video, but if you're just getting into it now, it's okay. But try to put that down as early as possible so you can cook metal frags. Windmills go like this on both sides. Off these guys, like such. And just 2 windmills works. You can add solar panels if you still need to kind of supplement more in anywhere in the roof. Okay, Now coming over to add these guys in, place one triangle out like this, and making a circle out of triangles. 3 half walls like such, followed by these guys, doing the basic same kind of peaks we're doing up there, this time just on the ground. If you place a locker before you place these ramps, you then jump up on this locker and place your ramp and you can access it through. Beautiful. Now making sure, since there's nothing connecting here, to place this frame like this and upgrading it. That just ensures that it doesn't decay off and you're all good. Adding half walls above here. And then a spot for your auto turret. You just kind of put this little cap on just to give it, you know, a harder chance, or just making it more difficult for raiders to, you know, destroy. Coming over here, same thing. Just kind of speed building it before we build our compound. As you kind of need these as your placeholders for the corners of each wall and segment. Grab this. And I didn't show it on the other one, but I'll show how to place the beds and all that. It's very easy, I reckon, so I've never had issues with it, so I assume you guys won't. Walls like such, apologies there. Making sure you place this frame here. Coming in and placing this guy. Now placing a door on here. And 2 beds. Boom and boom. It's very easy, as you can tell. No barricades will go on top of here, but let's first place our compound walls. To do so, I want to place from one of them, which I suggest being this guy, straight out. So I'll show what that looks like. I just want to place this straight out to the right. Over this guy, I want to slant it slightly out to the left here, kind of like where the left side of the wall is going, like so. So instead of just being straight on, I want to slant it just a little bit to give yourself a better compound. Just like that, it should be good. And obviously practice this beforehand, but even just first try, I get a pretty darn good compound. And if I kind of just get a better angle here this time, pretty darn good. And coming around here, I'm kind of just going to show the placement again. Why not? There's no reason not to. Looking to look at the angles. Pretty easy, pretty good. Nothing really wrong with this compound. It's very cheap as well. It's only 16 walls, which I do really like on this base. A nice cheap 16 wall compound, nothing wrong with that. Snatching this guy out, facing this guy head on, and getting him down like this. And I placed that one a little funky, but nothing wrong with that. Coming over here, jumping up on top of these guys, you can add your metal barricades, like so. I like to use these as a build out to get around here. And after this, we're going to be going over upgrades and kind of just where to place your vending machine bunkers if you'd still like to add those, other than the 2 bunkers that are already built into the design. I know some people do like to have those be an extra option. And I'll just place these guys flying to save time. Okay, so the walls that are important to upgrade, and all important upgrades, this foundation that we upgraded really early to sheet metal, high quality that, and sheet metaling at least this first layer like so. First 2 layers rather. As long as you sheet metal this guy like so, your bunker is in a very good position, just like this. So come over and do it again. Too high on this guy. You can kind of see all the upgrades on the inside. Everything in here should be upgraded. And then this guy, at least high quality on that guy. Adding garage doors, basically every slot that I have placed, you should garage door. Sheet metaling these guys like such. Coming down to the bunker. High quality on this wall. Sheet metaling this wall is efficient. If you have an armor door, switch that guy out. High quality on these 2 foundations. And high quality on the entire 2x1 starter. Per usual with any 2x1 kind of design. Sheet metaling this wall, this wall, this wall. And yet again on the same other side. Going along with the same upgrade pathing and really everything. There's no reason not to. Just sheet metal in the entire core. Oh yeah, this foundation, please sheet metal. Just another good one to do. And then this guy, I'll rotate these walls and sheet metal this entire thing in here. Fit all of your boxes, your storage in here. I won't be placing it now as it's kind of self-explanatory. Add boxes as many as you can fit. It's a bunker. Enjoy it. If you do upgrade this bunker to high qual instead of sheet metal, I suggest upgrading this frame to sheet metal and then upgrading the frame to high qual, like that. At least. Doing something like that is just never a bad idea. Okay. Upgrading these guys, place whatever deployables you need. Sheet metal that guy. We are good on this regard. Double door here is what I like to do personally. Keeping these guys sheet metal like so. We are really done with this entire thing. There isn't much to this base. It's very simple, it's simplistic. Same word there, but you get my point. It's basic, but it's very efficient. Very expensive to raid, and most importantly, pretty cheap and easy to build. So if you guys have any other questions, comments, or concerns, I'm going to show off my spot for adding vending machine bunkers real quick on a roof, and that's going to do it for the video as there's really nothing else to show. And to do that, I personally like to just do it right here. One wall like such, sheet metal, placing this guy like so. If you need a bunker or a vending machine location, this is your best bet, trust me. And then triangle like this to open, that is a bunker. And you can also use this for your drone shops too, which is an awesome spot for it. So, questions, comments, concerns, please leave them in the comment section below. I am happy to answer any other questions about building or anything. Just ask below. Whenever I see it, I will respond. I love you guys. Thank you for watching this video. If you haven't already, leave a like, subscribe. It really does help everything that I'm doing here. I love you guys. I'll see you later.